Good morning. Hi, good morning here. Ray and Shane, question and answer of Energize You, episode number 14. We're really moving along with the great set of questions and stuff that are coming into us. So we had questions about what you can do on a daily practical basis. So what are simple and practical things that you can do to improve and maintain your health just every day? So we're going to start with something else. Here in Australia, it's 8:45 in the morning. It's springtime. It's the 4th day of spring, so it's a seasonal change. And I'm going to ask you out there, who else has started their day with a nice little drink of apple cider vinegar and lemon in warm water to activate their digestion and their liver? This is a sort of a daily thing that I do. One of my regimens that I follow each day to actually stay fit and healthy and to keep improving. So we're going to look at a few things like that. Particularly Shane and I do, because we're both into wellness as our primary core. We love helping other people get fitter and better than they are as guides doing that. So we thought we'd see what do we do? So what are some of your let's tell us some good habits.
So the first thing for me in the morning is movement. You know what I mean? So it's not about getting up and doing anything really stressful. So my first habit in the morning is I get up in the morning, I have a shower. Okay, so that's the first thing is I clean myself, which is I think is a good way to start the day. And then I go for a walk down to the local cafe and I get myself my morning coffee. So that's about a 500-meter walk. Anyway. So there's literally a cafe that's right next to where I live, and there's one a little bit further, better coffee, and it also gives me the time to go. Now, as I'm walking down, it's also my personal development time. So I've got a podcast in, usually listening to Gary Vee, a favourite of mine, listening to my morning podcast. So there's two things I really want to get is movement and education. You know what I mean? All right. Movement and education.
Well, let's just look at that, because there are lots of studies about how your brain is affected by activity as well. So the thought is really that we should all have at least 20 to 30 minutes exercise every single day that gets your heart rate up. Now, if you want to know what your sort of active heart rate should be to get to a peak, you go 180 beats less your age. So, I'm 63, so
145.
So at some point in Shane's exercise, he should get up to 145 minutes.
But for me, so this is why it's good to give individual. That's not what I call my morning. That's not what I call exercise. That's only about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. And that's just probably a bit of my morning routine. You know what I mean?
That's your headspace.
It gets my head in the game.
Mindset.
So it's shower, walk, coffee. You know what I mean? That's that. And before I eat coffee, I have protein as well. I don't eat coffee on an empty stomach. It's not good. Don't do that. Okay.
So he's getting out in nature. So here in Australia, he's getting good vitamin D.
I live near the beach. So
getting vitamin D. Lives at the beach. He's getting the negative ions coming off the surf, which produces negative ions, which are great for us. That's good harmony. And he's doing educational work, which is actively stimulating the brain. So that's an important thing. Like I read every day. I read at least 35-40 minutes a day.
Awesome.
And then when I'm going, I do a morning walk, maybe 45 minutes, and I'm always educating myself as well. So we've got physical activity and mental activity going on, really shooting off the neurons.
Cool.
So what other sort of things?
So that's my morning routine. Then I'll come back, and the first thing I do in the morning is I check my emails. So I'll come back, I'll have my breakfast, have my coffee while I'm doing that. So then I switch from sort of education into work mode. So look, I'm an entrepreneur and I work really hard. I put a lot of time into my business. It's because I love it. It's not because I'm a workaholic. It's not because I'm trying to conquer the world or boil the ocean, as they say. So the first thing for me is switching now from what I need as a human into being a business person, okay? So I get in the morning, I check my emails. That's the first thing, because usually a lot of emails come through at night. I don't look at my emails at night time. The next thing I do is I have a look at my lead list. I do a lot of the sales and marketing for my gym. So every day this is routine. Number 1 is emails. Number 2 is I check my lead list, I check on my followers. Number 3 is I look at my day and I have a look at what have I got ahead. Even though I plan my week a week ahead on a Saturday, like I've said, I've done a few of my different live streams. Like this is a bit more health based. I do some business ones that are on my own Facebook. I then am very clear about what I need to do for the day. So I've got my personal training sessions, my meetings, any consulting I'm doing, my exercise, that's all programmed in. I exercise, and that's, but this is in order. So then I've got my emails, I've checked out, I've done all my lead work, I've planned everything I need to do for the day. I've confirmed and checked my day that day, so I know what I've got going ahead, and then I go to work. Right?
So let's just break that down a bit more. So one important thing I heard there is he's not getting up and checking his emails on his phone.
No.
He's having his me time first. So your quality time to value yourself for your health before you go into that first email, the first message, which might put you out of sync.
Yeah.
The second thing he has is a default diary.
Yes.
So he's got a diary set out a week in advance, which for this purpose includes his exercise
everything.
Structured in. So I find that's very important for me as well. In my clinic here, my other business as well, I structure my time frame around the exercises sessions.
And personal time too. Like for example, like people, like if you're in a relationship and you both work 9 to 5, it's pretty easy. You know what I mean? To like you both come home from work, and unless someone does something, it's usually there's us time. There's me time and there's us time. There's two things I keep very separate. You know what I mean? Because I need my me time, okay? But us time with my partner Jen, for example, I don't get home from 7:30 at night, but then every Thursday night we go out for date night. You know what I mean? So that's in my diary. I know tonight, date night's off. Thursday night. Okay, usually it's 2 for 1 downstairs in the club early, or you know we've done other things as well. So I also have all my personal things. So my day is structured and organised. You know what I mean? I know everything. I've walked in, and you know, and no one's perfect. And look, logistics and order isn't my strength, but you need to do it if you're gonna be someone that has a fair bit going on. You know, Ray, as a business owner, and you've had a business much bigger than mine in the past, with a lot more staff and a lot more things. Being structured and organised is a foundational point of being successful in a business. You need to know what's going on.
That structure keeps you on track. So, you know, we talked about their quality time with your partner. I remember reading statistics years ago that the average couple speak for a total of 30 minutes a week. It was frightening. So, like my wife and I have Sunday mornings are our coffee day all the time. So you've got to keep some of these things as sacrosanct as possible that we go in there. But then, and it's different personality types, and I don't know a personality type you are, but you know, Shane is definitely a type A person. He's out there, he's active, he's action. I'm more of he'd be a type A plus. I might be a type A minus or a B plus. So, and look, I'm in my mid-60s, so I probably was more type A when I was your age. Go. Now I've slowed down a little bit intentionally as well. But so it depends on what you want to do, how structured you have to be. Now, structure can also mean exactly, this is my rest time. This is I'm not doing anything time. 100%. But still you create that.
You definitely need that. You definitely, as a type A, you definitely, and it's really funny, you know, I had this conversation with my partner the other day, and you know, we're both very similar in ways, we're both very different. You know, we're both exactly the same. It would just be, it'd be, I don't know. But anyway, you know, I was talking to her and I'm saying, look, one of her things is she started working full time. She's also a mum. She's got a lot going on, and I'm like, you need to have your time for you. You know what I mean? For you. Like, it's all good having us time, and it's all good having work time, and it's all good having exercise time, and she does all that very well. But it's really, I've seen her in the last few weeks just really need that her time, you know what I mean? And that's a lot for mums too, because mums are extremely, massively empathetic, you know what I mean? Where they always put themselves last. And if you're a mum out there, and you know, and I can't understand the hormones of giving birth to a child, we're never going to find that, obviously being males. But I think you need to have a look at what time are you putting aside for yourself, and are you systematically doing that, you know? Because
it's important.
Yeah, like you treat a lot of mums, right? You know, with your thing. And obviously, mine's much more the aesthetics, the physical fitness and that, where yours is much more about the mindfulness, the body,
the inner beauty.
The inner beauty. What would you say are some tips for mums? You know what I mean? Speaking from the outside, because we're not mums, we're never going to be.
You know, we're males, and I have done a lot of work with females, and I've specialised in female gynecological issues, and I've taken women pre-pregnancy through pregnancy. attending with them at childbirth, post-childbirth, so all of this sort of process, because that's as close as I can ever get to the experience being a mum. So a lot of it is in our self-value and self-worth. We had a great talk last night by one of our members here, Cassie Solomon.
And guys, if you we'll share that talk in the comments after this. I say there's a few live. There's like a little production company going on this right now, 3 or 4 phones and a camera. But we'll definitely, like Cassie, who is one of our clients. Cassie comes to Ray for treatments and is one of our members here, part of the tribe. Gave a great talk. And that's for all the mums and women out there that have, battled with depression and putting themselves first. It's a great talk. So we'll definitely serve her. She was great. She was fantastic. That was probably one of the best first ever talks I've ever seen.
So I think mindset for everyone. And look, everyone basically wants to be loved. So in fact, look, I talk to people a lot about the 5 languages of love in relationship.
So Ray actually got me to do it 3 months ago with my partner.
All relationships are about love. And so this is an important thing. So it's seeking love in your life and how there's that saying, be the energy you want to attract. So be the energy you want to attract. So if you want to have a calm, fulfilling, abundant life, well, try and live from that point of view, and that's what you'll attract. And so for me and my advice to women is really, really focus in and learn to speak your voice. I was working with someone the other day, and what we're working with her is the ability to say no. And so that was my, I give people work to do themselves, and that was my homework for her, is to say no when she would normally say yes to everything. So instead of giving out, yes, I can do that, yes, I can, it's actually standing back and saying, no, I actually don't want to do that, and no, I'm not doing that. So sometimes that is finding your strength to that, be able to say no to all the demands that are put on you. Because we know, particularly with the men around, we get quite a few demands from us all the time. So that'd be one thing. Well, I'd like to move on to other practical stuff that we need to do for our health, and the big one is your food choice as well. And that's as simple as avoid the things that you know are going to hurt you, and embrace and include the things that you know are going to make you better. Now, I would ask you all to sit down and just write down 10 good foods you know about and 10 bad foods you know about. So 10 foods that you know are not good for you and 10 foods that you know are good for you. And you'll know them yourself. And a lot of us find that we're actually eating all the foods we know we're not good for. I mean, who out there who smokes thinks it's good for you? You know it's bad for you, yet you continue to do it. Who out there who does binge drinking thinks it's good for you? You know it's not, but you continue to do it. So we actually have all the information. It's actually having the willpower and the determination and the big why I should make a change. So take it all as little baby steps. Your daily healthy choices for me are very important. So I was reading a study done in UCLA about our hippocampus, which is our memory centre of the brain. And as we know, that as we get older, we've got more and more of these days, high levels of dementia and Alzheimer's. Now, for women out there, of every 3 Alzheimer patients, 2 of them are women.
Wow.
So 2/3 of Alzheimer's dementia are women. So you have a much greater prevalence for heading down that path if you don't take care of yourself now. So that's what we're all about in the whole living
prevention.
Living longer, younger program and teaches about prevention. So it was interesting. It was found they did a study of 100 people doing purely stretch exercise and 100 people doing active aerobic exercise and resistance exercise. So resistance exercise would be light weights, strength training, active aerobic exercise, doing cardio aerobics, as opposed to just stretch exercises. And they found that after a year, those who are doing just stretch exercises, their hippocampus area, the memory centre, actually started to reduce.
Wow.
And those who were doing the activity exercise had increased. Their memory was, in fact, building.
Is that why yogis forget everything? I'm joking.
So the whole thing is Is yoga great for you? Absolutely. I like practicing. I love going to stretch yoga classes myself because to me that's the mental really calming down. But as I've explained to a lot of people other times, and I do Qigong exercises, I've done Tai Chi in the past. These exercises were performed by people after a day of heavy manual activity. So that's a tradition. People in China would do their Tai Chi exercises to relieve themselves from a stressful manual day where they've done their aerobic exercise.
Yeah.
So we can't just rely on the non-aerobic.
Yeah.
So mix it up.
Yeah, 100%.
Do yoga and do your activity.
Yeah, 100%. You've got it. I think it's about balance, and I think that's also it's relevant to a lot of things in life. You know what I mean? I think whether you're like, I need to have downtime, me time. You know what I mean? Like, I need to have it. If I don't get it, I just almost spontaneously combust. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. And then I think a lot of people that we deal with, Ray, especially, are just slightly out of balance. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest thing we teach, look, you know, we predominantly work with the older demographic, you know, like 30, 40 plus, you know, and older again. And, you know, the most common thing people come up to you, whether it's, you know, they're overweight or they're, you know, tired or a lack of energy, is a lack of balance. You know what I mean? And I think you obviously have it out, you know, in your wisdom of time.
I'm a work in progress.
Yeah, I think I'm a work in progress too, but it's something I think, like I'm 35 now, you know, and I definitely think I've got it, I'm a little more balanced life than I did at 30, especially since I was 25. And I think that's a really good question to ask yourself out there is, like, are you balanced? Do you know what I mean? And where are you out of balance? And then here's the thing, and most people don't know because you can't really look inside yourself as well as someone else can do it externally for you, which makes a good coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why the benefits of, you know, whether you're going to a personal trainer or you're going to a, you know, a therapist or whatever it is, you know. But I think that's really what I would call the battle, you know, of most people. Not the battle, it's the conundrum, you know, like.
Well, let's look at practical things you can do. Shane mentioned you have a shower in the morning. So my suggestion for everyone is you have a hot shower followed by a cold shower for at least a minute, because that really activates your nervous system, gets the blood flowing to the outside, really stimulates and activates things. We've been talking a bit about your brain function and memory. So your brain is a direct connection in its function to your gut. If you have an unhealthy gut, as most people do, you're going to have an unhealthy brain. We talked last week about the fact some other research has shown that the bigger you get weight-wise, you actually get physical shrinkage of the brain and the function. So it's so much connected here. So which is why I always recommend probiotics to people to enhance and fulfill their gut flora and in the gut and the villi and the small intestine, which are helping to absorb stuff. But you've got these thin layers of membrane, mucous membranes in your going through your gut, through which the nutrients are coming in, it's coming out into the body, systemised. So anytime you've had antibiotics, etc., your gut flora, fauna, the villi, and everything is affected negatively. So I'm always recommending things like barley grass for people, they're insulin balancing, different types of probiotics. So we need supplementation generally to help us. So gut, brain. Foggy thinking, it's a gut issue. Depression, it's a gut issue.
100%.
Anger, it's a gut issue. Any of your emotions are going to be affected by your gut.
Yeah, I would say also, I think the last, especially 2 years, I've really focused on my gut health. And I think I came to you, Ray, probably 3 years ago at a bit of a crisis point in my life, and I was drinking too much coffee, working too much, alcohol, all that sort of thing. And it was definitely the conversation of what it is required and how it all links up. And like some of the things I did, like a detox, which was really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did some, what are they called? The colon hydrotherapy. Another fantastic. Meditation was another great tool that I still use to this day. Me time, super important, and another thing too is, what do you do that makes you happy? You know what I mean? Like, I love traveling. People that know me know I love traveling. There's nothing that excites me more than getting on a plane and leaving Australia. There's nothing. There's nothing that literally gets me more excited. Because I hop onto a plane, number one, I cannot be contacted by anyone, which is great.
And movies.
And movies. Oh, but no, it's actually me time. I can stop there and I can think and I can really reflect on stuff and, You know, I think it's super important. You know, I think that balance of that me time is one of the most practical things that anyone can start doing now.
Cool.
So we might wrap it up with that. What do you reckon, Ray?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, I wanted to add that the other thing that you really need practical daily tips is water.
Water, okay.
You know, this is, once again, brain function. If you've got foggy brain, if you've got aches, stiffness in your joints, if you're feeling lethargic, if you have digestive issues, very common factor is you're dehydrated. 80% of us are dehydrated most of the time. So, recommendation that I usually make is 1 litre per 25 kilos body weight per day. So you should be having a minimum of that, increase that by 20% if you're exercising. So, you know, we've looked at getting out in nature, we've looked at spending, you know, don't get on your phones,
no emails,
get in that business activity too early in the day, be organised in your structure, choose the foods that are good for you, avoid the foods and the things that are bad for you as well. And this goes to toxic relationships as well. Choose the relationships that are good for you, cut out the toxic ones as well. And we've talked about food, water, brain, emotions, everything we do. So this is a season for the liver now. Great time to do a liver detox, cleanse, plenty of strong green vegetables, sour foods, pickles, these are all great. Sauerkraut, indeed. Keep those probiotics going, and we look forward to you speaking next time.
Next week. See ya.
Thanks very much. Bye.